work closely with General Nakasone at the NSA, so she knows. You mentioned Russia has not carried off these sorts of impactful cyber attacks some people feared they would in Ukraine, or the West for that matter. Why do you think that is? To what extent was it the same ineptitude that applied to their overall military invasion, and to what extent was it just improved defense on the part of the Ukrainians and allies?
So when Russia conducted its invasion, we saw that invasion accompanied by initial destructive cyber attacks. First, kind of digital vandalism, taking down core government websites, core Ukrainian government websites, and then conducting a disruptive cyber attack on satellite communication systems in Ukraine that had an overflowing effect in Europe. In fact, because of that, was really the reason that the European Union and the US supported that, made a point of both attributing that attack on communications infrastructure to Russia and calling it out in that way. But we certainly saw Russia begin its invasion integrating cyber attacks, and then have seen some follow-on attacks against Ukrainian infrastructure, but not to the extent I think that we expected. That may be, as you noted, the same degree to which the invasion was kept very close hold. Effective cyber attack activity takes planning. There's also a trade-off between using accesses for intelligence collection or attack, and it may well be that as the invasion went poorly and continued to go poorly, the priority was placed on using those accesses to Ukrainian infrastructure for intelligence. That being said, it remains a threat, and we continue to be focused on it. The second point you made is such a key one, because those who work cybersecurity can continuously feel, demoralized. There's always a new article or some new information about the latest attack technique. And as we know, technology is not built today for the threat it faces, and I know we'll talk a bit more about that later. So as a result, folks who work cybersecurity can sometimes feel like it's a losing battle. I think Ukraine proves the value of preparation and partnership. After Russia's first invasion in 2015 and the disruption of Ukraine's power grid, Ukraine put a focus on really addressing the security of their power grid and made that a priority, investing time, attention, good people. The United States supported it, and other countries supported it as well, and really invested in a multi-year effort. And indeed, in the run-up, as we saw the intelligence and started to raise concerns regarding a potential Russian invasion, we doubled down on that work. We had a team come from Ukraine, from their core energy provider, working with the Department of Energy. We had teams working remotely to ensure that they were as protected as they needed to be. And I think we've seen that that has made a difference. So that, both preparation and the partnership, the recognition that as countries, when we see adversary tactics and techniques, when we learn of creative ways to secure, we share that. That's another core takeaway from the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And it's led, in fact, to one of the areas we've put a lot of work into, which is doubling down on building a cyber defense capability, a rapid response capability at NATO, so that, while Ukraine is not a NATO member, obviously, so that if there are cyber attacks against NATO members, we as a group of countries can pool resources and rapidly respond in an effective way.